and garbage.
What's up, you guys? I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Factor. Right now, you can head to factormeals.com/glitter50 and use code glitter50 to get 50% off. That is code glitter50 at factormeals.com/glitter50 to get 50% off. You guys, that's half. Let's get these deals. What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Glitter and Garbage. I'm Justine Marino, joined today by hilarious comedian, producer, actor. She is so funny. She runs an incredible show called The Mermaid Comedy Hour at the Improv Lab in Hollywood once a month. Definitely check it out and check her out right now. It's Valerie Tosi.
Hey, what's going on?
It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so stoked to have you because obviously, like, I had heard your name. I'd seen your name on flyers and stuff. I was like, who is this girl with amazing glasses? Like, game recognized game.
I was just going to say.
And then I was so happy we were on that house party show together at the lab.
That show was great too.
That was such a good show. I was just talking with Jessica Michelle Singleton that we had another lab show. The past few shows I've done at the Improv Lab have been weirdly good, although...
Uh-oh, careful. Did you just jinx it?
No, I know, right? The rest of them are all just terrible. No one shows up. No, but Mermaid Comedy Hour, I will say on record, has been like the best show I've ever done in the lab.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ooh, stop.
I know. Well,
nothing makes me happier than when people tell me that it's their favorite show they've ever done in the lab. And because everyone's like, I've literally never seen the audience this happy in this room.
Well, it's exactly. You guys, for those of you who don't live in LA, you're not that familiar with the comedy scene. The Improv Lab is the smaller room, and it's kind of got, it used to be a black box theater. I don't know if it was like more black box style way back in the day, and then they converted it to like this bar, and then they converted it back to with a stage, but it has a bar in it, so it's not like the most conducive room for comedy. And it's kind of known as a little bit of a tougher room. Yeah. You know, like
that's
acoustically.
being kind.
I still want to get booked.
Well, the thing is, it's nothing the club does. It's just a weird
It's a weird room. And I think the club would admit that as well.
100%.
But like I said, like the past few shows that I've done have been great. And your show in particular, like I have never really heard the crowd really get going. I think that's the thing, is there'll be like a little bit of a laugh and then it'll drop off. Like with yours, they were just hot the whole time, the whole show through.
Yeah. And
how long have you been doing the Mermaid Comedy Hour?
So the show you did was our 8-year anniversary.
Amazing.
I am out of my mind. It's been a long time. The first year was at IO West, and then we moved it over to the Improv, and it's been there ever since. And I'm so happy to be doing it still, and I'm still kind of shocked that it's still happening. Every time I'm like booking it again, I'm like, it just won't die.
I love it. I'm so glad it didn't die so that I could do the 8-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Which was so special because it's an all-female show.
Yep.
Which I love. But B, we had a very special, like, could not have been, in my opinion, a more like perfect celeb in the crowd.
Like, this word gets used a lot, and it's overused, but I think it's appropriate for this. The most epic of guests.
Yes.
Especially because, like, we're an all-female show, and that's really important to me. But to have this person show up who happened to be a member of the biggest all-female group of arguably all time.
All time, yeah.
It was very insane. Can you have they guessed it yet?
Can you guess it? Yeah, you guys, Mel B, Scary Spice herself was in the crowd. And what I think makes it just, it wasn't just that they were a girl group. Their whole thing was girl power. Like they really were infusing that into everything they did throughout the 90s. So to have her there supporting an all-female show was so cool.
It was really cool. And she wasn't just any audience member either who was just kind of like, all right, I'm here for a show, whatever, bye.
Yeah.
She was like so engaged. She was standing up, giving everybody standing ovations. which was insane. And I was just like, and she was like, she had such a good, hearty laugh that you could like hear. And to look out in the crowd and see that you're making a Spice Girl laugh was like, it was just crazy.
It's crazy.
It was crazy. And I found out she was coming right before, literally like as she got there, as I was getting on stage for my set.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm like, I've been nervous for industry being in the audience, but this is like another level.
That's next level.
Yeah.
So I was so happy that I did not know she was in the crowd.
I tried not to tell people because I didn't want them to freak out.
Thank you. Because like not a lot of things make me nervous. And obviously like I've performed for celebrities. I was a tour guide at Universal. We had a lot of celebrities come on the tour, you know.
Yeah.
But a Spice Girl would have just, and in that intimate of a room.
Yeah. It's small. It seats like 65 people.
Yeah. So it's little, it's like a little kind of just experimental room, and I would have been so much more nervous. So I feel like I was so happy that I didn't know. And then when Andrew, the photographer, came over and he showed me, he goes, "Oh, it's Scary Spice." And I go, "Oh, she does look like Scary Spice." And he goes, No, bitch, that is Scary Spice. I was like, oh my God.
That was kind of the best part. It was almost like being a parent on Christmas, was like delivering that news and watching everybody's faces like light up and freak out was really, really cool. And we don't have a photographer at every show, and I'm so glad that that was the one that he was at.
Thank God.
Yeah. And it was so funny because the reason she was there was because a couple friends of mine know her because one of them used to dance for her back in the day.
Oh, nice.
And so we knew, in fact, when our tickets went on sale for that show, they were the first people to buy tickets, like the two of them. And
oh, wow.
Which was really sweet. Like not her, but him and his partner.
Okay.
And so like knew they were coming, really excited. And the show starts and they're not there. And I was like, I can't believe they're going to be late. And they texted and were like, we're running late, but we have a good reason, we promise.
Okay.
And then they had bought a bunch more tickets because there was like 8 of them.
Oh my God.
And they rolled in, you know, 15 minutes into the show. And that's when I was like, oh my God.
Was the show already sold out? Like, because they didn't, it was closed. It was pretty close. It was pretty packed. Like, didn't you guys have to like make seat, like you were like, figure out the seating?
Okay. So this is the wildest part too. And like, and why the show was in particular was so special was because, like I said, it was the 8-year anniversary. And if you've ever run a show, you might have, yeah. You know how much work goes into it. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. It can be a really thankless job sometimes, and it's exhausting and stressful, especially when you're trying to move tickets.
Yeah.
That morning, our ticket sales were at 12.
Wow.
And we were freaking out because everybody, especially after COVID, waits till the last minute to buy tickets, and it's alarming. And also, we're on a Monday night, so it's already a hard night to sell.
Right.
So I kept checking like with the club throughout the day to see if they were going up little by little, and I was like, okay,
Good.
we're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And so the fact that that was the peak of the show was so validating, because in my head I was like, maybe this is just the last one, you know, like maybe that's it, because we take December off anyway.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe it's run its course, you know, blah, blah. And that just like lit a fire under my ass to be like, okay, yeah, no, this is going to keep going.
That's great.
Yeah.
And it should. It's so fun. And I just love, because we were all around the same age, like millennial women. So we were all just like dying that there was
target
a
demo.
Fucking, the absolute target demo. So there was a Spice Girl there, which I've never met or seen a Spice Girl before. Have you met or seen any others?
I have not seen or met a Spice Girl, but I have met a member of NSYNC.
Lance.
Yes.
Lance has been on this podcast.
No way.
Yes.
Okay. So I met him when I did a haunted house last year out in Pacoima. It's called Delusion, if you've ever done it.
Oh, okay.
It's in the middle of nowhere in an industrial park. You look like you're going to be murdered.
Perfect.
And like when we went through the haunted house, there was a group of us. It was all comics. And me and Kelly McInerney, another female comic, were standing, and she's like, we're both like, I think that's Lance Bass. And somebody else in the group was like, there's no way that's Lance Bass. And we're like, we stared at those photos on our bedroom wall for years. We know who that is.
We know Lance.
And we went up and it sure was.
Oh.
And it was crazy. And we took photos. We were so dumb. We like, just couldn't help it.
Lance is so cool.
So sweet.
I love him. He did this podcast he did when I ran my dance show at the Comedy Store. He came and judged. Like,
oh, that's so fun.
He's great. Yeah, he's a good dude. And he's like just fun and down for whatever.
Yeah, he seemed very nice.
Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, I've met those two, and then I've met a new kid on the block, which like I was a little young for them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Actually, I've met 2 new kids on the block. And I love Donnie. Donnie's my friend. I love Donnie.
So funny.
I love Donnie. Super hot. Love him.
Super hot.
Super hot. But yeah, they weren't, and I'm trying to think if I've met any, I don't think I've met any Backstreet Boys, but
I haven't either.
But I met JC. I always forget this. I met
from
JC
NSYNC?
from NSYNC. I went to the MTV Movie Awards with my aunt, got like really good seats years ago. This was like maybe 2010 or something. And he was there, and we were at this like backstage at something, and I was like, "Can I take a picture with you?"
He's so hot. I'm upset that he's not as big as Justin. It doesn't make me, I don't understand.
Valerie, you are preaching to the choir right now, okay? Because I have been, ask Aaron, for the past few, I have been on a tear trying to get justice for JC, okay?
That literally sounds like justice for Jesus Christ.
No,
Justice! How much longer are we going to wait? He deserves it.
Come on, just come back already. No, but so I smoke a lot of weed, and I love to get stoned and go down like a pop culture rabbit hole.
Hi, hello, you're in good company.
Okay, great, perfect. I knew I invited you on for a good reason.
I had $130 worth of edibles delivered to my house today. Hi, welcome.
I'm obsessed with you. We should hang out outside of doing shows.
I don't know why we haven't.
Yeah, I know. I'm so glad that we have come together. So I got stoned, and with all the like, is NSYNC gonna reunite? Like whispers a couple months ago before all the like Justin stuff came out and everything. I was like, fuck, what happened to JC? He was the best looking, and I was going down these NSYNC, like watching all their old videos, and I was like, JC could dance. JC had the pipes. He had the way better voice than Justin. And it's just crazy to me that he didn't get the support that he deserved.
I know.
They gave it all to Justin, the record company. And
I wonder why because JC had a solo album, but it didn't go anywhere. I mean, it didn't even touch Justin.
So I'm so glad you asked. Because I literally watched this. I called it a documentary. I was violently shamed for calling it a documentary. It's just a fucking elder millennial in her basement, like making a video about JC. But basically, Jive, the record company, put everything into Justin. And then they were like, okay, we could try with JC. But they were really just plugging for Justin. And then kind of JC didn't get any of the budget that he got. He didn't get any of the promotional support. And then I think what he did with his album was probably not the smartest. He's gone on record being like, I wasn't trying to make a hit. I was just making whatever songs felt like.
Fool.
Yeah, I was like, you definitely want to make a hit.
That's album 2, JC.
Exactly.
That's album 2.
Exactly. Get us on your side first.
Yeah.
But they didn't even use like his singing ability on his album. Like if you think about the singles, like some girls dance with women, and then there was another one where he was like really like pop punk emo.
I couldn't name a single song off that album, which makes me so sad because I really do like him a lot.
Was he your favorite?
At the time, yeah. And I really liked Lance, which now in like retrospect is hilarious.
Yeah, so funny.
And where it's like, haha, reveal.
Yeah, I know, right? I was a Justin girl, I'll admit it. I'm a recovering Justin girl. And
hilarious.
I just feel, I always thought JC was hot, but like, I was like, Justin and I have the same name. Like, it's clearly we're connected, But I feel like JC deserves justice, and I'm gonna try and get it for him.
Honestly, it's never too late.
It's
and
never too late.
And is this where we start a GoFundMe for?
Exactly. He's like, you guys, I'm doing fine.
Yeah, he's like, I have far more money than you do.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we're like, okay, well then maybe we'll just keep it.
We'll keep it for ourselves. But I loved NSYNC. So were you more NSYNC than Backstreet Boys?
I was, yeah.
Same. Oh, thank God.
And it's honestly,
Thank God.
it's so funny to me too how like. It really was like a competition. We were mad when somebody liked Backstreet Boys more, and they were just as mad when we said NSYNC.
Yeah.
It was wild to me.
It is, and it's just like, oh no, that's just, you just have different tastes. Because now that I'm older and like know myself better, I'm like, oh, I'm more into dancing. I'm more into like a hip hop feel. The Backstreet Boys were more about the harmonies and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
NSYNC was more like really poppy. The beats were better. I think far superior. The dancing was better. And that's what I'm looking for in like a pop group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too. And I don't know, there was just something a little more, like you said, like bubblegummy about NSYNC, and like Backstreet Boys felt a little more moody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially like some of their other songs, like on Millennium, there's a few on there that I'm like, oh, if I listen to this enough, I'll cry.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
You know?
Yeah. No, they were definitely about the singing and the harmonies and all that stuff and like the mood. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like NSYNC did a really good job with each of their albums really conceptualizing it. Because you had like No Strings Attached. Like I went to that tour.
Same.
And I remember just like them coming down on the puppet strings.
So good.
And that was so cool. And like, you know, obviously there was their first one, which didn't necessarily have a theme, but all the music was super solid on it. And and like Backstreet Boys, the only album I really remember, there's two that I remember, but Millennium was like themed, but like what was it? Black and Blue, I think was the other one.
Oh yeah, Black and Blue was after Millennium, I think.
Was it after?
Well, what was the one before it? What was the one that with Backstreet's Back? I think it was just wasn't it just Backstreet Boys? Wasn't there self-titled?
Maybe that was their self-title.
Yeah,
I think NSYNC's was a self-title for their first one too.
Yes. And then Backstreet Boys had some like German album, like some like European albums. So I was Backstreet Boys, then I discovered NSYNC, and I promptly changed all the posters on my wall, like overnight. I was not loyal.
I don't even think I ever had a Backstreet Boy poster on my wall. I think it was all NSYNC.
See, I was like lukewarm. I was like okay, you know, I was a Leo girl, but he was kind of Leo DiCaprio, obviously.
There's no other.
There's no other. But you know, I was like, he's kind of taking a break after Titanic. I guess I'll lean into the Nick Carter's got kind of a Leo thing going on. That's he'll do. But then Justin Timberlake came out and I was like, he loves Baby Blue and I do. Could we get any deeper of a connection here?
Oh my God. Okay, so here how do you stand on number 3 in the boy band, which as anybody would know is 98 Degrees.
So 98 Degrees, I've spoken about this on the pod before.
You sound like you're about to do an apology tour. Like like it's with a heavy heart.
It's with a heavy heart that I have to say they were not for me. But I think part of it was because they seemed so much more mature. Like they were men.
They were men.
Like they looked like they could work at a construction site. You know what I mean?
In fact, they probably did up until their album got like crazy.
But they were like the other ones, they still felt like boys. And I was, you know, we're like, because we're the same age, like we're like what, 13, 14, you know? So I wasn't as into like the men of 98 Degrees. But what did you get in? Did you get into them?
I remember having a poster of them on the wall, and I did like them. But it's just funny that like that heyday of boy bands, like how many there were. Like I remember like BB Mac was out then too. Loved O-Town.
Yeah, LFO.
Oh yeah, there were so many.
So many.
Like yeah, it was really, and it's funny because now I feel like there's so many bands that are. It is male female. Like a lot of like indie bands and stuff now are pretty well mixed and like even. And back then it's just like, it was like all dudes.
Yeah. Well, okay. So question, since you saw NSYNC on tour, I can't remember which tour they opened for, but there was a group from, I believe the UK called Boys and Girls United that opened for NSYNC. That was 2 guys and 2 girls. And I thought it was so interesting.
Yeah.
And I liked 2 of their songs enough to like either buy the single or I may have even bought their whole album. Because I was like, they're the next thing. Because I had seen the first NSYNC tour, fucking Britney Spears opened up. And I was like, and then I think the next one, Mandy Moore opened. So I was like,
oh, you know what? That might have been who opened for No Strings Attached. Oh, because I was like, I don't remember who it was that opened. And now when you said that, it was like unlocked a sense memory.
Yeah,
like,
I got you. I'm here to unlock all the NSYNC memories.
Thank you.
So yeah, so after that, it was Boys and Girls United who did nothing. After opening for NSYNC, but they were very good. And I thought it was cool that they had 2 boys and 2 girls.
Yeah.
Because usually you didn't see that. It was very boys doing the boys thing and girls doing the girls thing.
Yeah. Like I feel like in the 60s and 70s it was mixed. And then that period and like the 80s, ish. And it started to gear towards more like separate. And the 90s was pretty separate.
Yeah.
And then it started to change back again like in the 2000s.
Yeah.
But yeah, because you look at groups like ABBA or Fleetwood Mac or something where it's like pretty even.
Yes.
But then it just stopped.
It was so weird. Just like the 90s were just like, no, we'll just do single sex music.
Yeah. It was like everyone isolated.
Yeah, exactly. It was weird. Now, question, what do you think you identify with one of the Spice Girls more than others? Which one are you? What Spice are you?
So I had a few favorites. I loved Ginger Spice because I liked that she was spunky, and like my natural hair color is spoiler alert, it's not this.
Really?
This with my glaring roots? No, it's not. Surprise! My natural hair color has a lot of red in it, so I think like I'm a brunette, but there's a lot of red tones to it. So I think I was like, oh my gosh, yes.
You felt seen.
I did feel seen.
It was like me and Justin.
Her.
Yeah.
I loved her, and I really liked Scary Spice a lot too. Sporty Spice. I wasn't an athlete, so Sporty Spice really wasn't for me. Like I didn't
resonate. Yeah. No, I didn't dislike any of them, but I related the least to her.
Yes. Yeah. Posh scared me because I was like, she would be mean to me if we were in the same room. I was like,
that was my girl.
Of course it was. There was no doubt in my mind. If you were like gun to your head, which one's your? I would like absolutely Posh.
It's only because like brown hair. I don't know why when you're younger.
Because you're a stylish like fashionista.
Thank you so much.
Like
Thank
of course.
You. But I loved her so much, and I liked Baby too, and Ginger I thought was fun.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought they were all fun, but I will say like Sporty, just because I wasn't super athletic. I got cut from the soccer team, and like only 2 people got cut. So I
couldn't hit a ball off of a tee for T-ball when I was a kid.
Perfect.
So,
okay, cool.
That's why I'm on a pinball league now. Yeah. That's a sport. Sorry.
I love it. Is it a sport?
I've decided it is.
It is.
It's like me telling people marching band was a sport. I was like, we're on a field.
And you're marching.
We're moving.
Yeah. It's obviously a sport.
Yeah.
So okay, I could see that a Ginger.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah,
and with a Scary Rising, you know,
that's scary, and a baby moon.
A baby moon. Wait, what's your chart? Do you know?
Here we go.
I'm not really
this is
that
of a sudden taking a turn.
It took a turn. I need to leave now.
I'm a double Pisces.
Oh, my boyfriend is a double Pisces.
I'm double Pisces, and then I think the third one, the big one or whatever, is Gemini, I believe. Okay. But I never remember what's what. So I'm a Pisces is like, if somebody asks like, what sign are you? That's me.
Pisces. Mitch, my boyfriend, double Pisces, man. I can't get away. I knew I liked you.
See, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why. Because of where you were born. Wait, which brings me to my next point. I just noticed your tattoo on your wrist.
Yeah.
Can you please pull it out?
I sure can. This starts and stops a lot of conversations.
I mean, for someone who's not sporty, I will say
I do. I enjoy sports. I appreciate sports. I love the Red Sox.
Yeah.
I actually was at the game when they won the World Series here a couple years ago.
Amazing.
It was pretty rad. It was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And because we were watching the ticket prices go down because, you know, the Dodgers fans are kind of fair weather. So as they were going further in the series.
Guys, that's rude. Aaron totally agreed
I was
with
like,
you.
wait a minute. I was like, do I hear? Oh, you were there too?
Because the same thing?
Yeah, it was great. We went for $250.
Oh my God.
To the winning World Series game.
That's incredible.
It was insane. But when I got this tattoo,
it's a Red Sox B, by the way, you guys.
It stands for bad person. But so my sister got a Bruins tattoo at the same time.
Okay.
And we had to do it back home, obviously.
And you have to.
Oh, we had to. We were right over the border of New Hampshire.
Okay.
In a town called Seabrook. If you know where that is, it's not great. And the woman was so salt to the earth that was doing it. It was supposed to be the size of a quarter. It is not. It is pretty large, and she didn't normally they'll like trace it.
Yes.
And like she just went in with the needle and started
what
going. And I was like, it's not supposed to be that big. And she goes, yeah, well, I can't draw it that small. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh, with the accent. And at that point you're like, okay, whatever.
And I was like, this woman will bury me.
Whatever
I was like,
you say.
sure, whatever you want.
Yeah. This is your tattoo now.
Yeah. So I have that now, and it's never going away.
I love it. Now we were talking before we started because you're from Boston, and that's part of when you did your act. And just anyone who does a Boston accent is like someone after my own heart. I am obsessed with it. I think it is the most fun, hilarious accent. I love it. I was born there. I only lived there till I was 5. So I grew up mostly in Denver, but my mom's whole family still has the accent. And when we go back, and it comes out in my mom a lot too. And my mom's from Brockton, which is like... Brockton's rough, you know. Like
my grandfather's from Brockton,
so you get it, yeah. So I like Donnie Wahlberg. I was on a tour. Jenny McCarthy did this all-female comedy special like 10 years ago, and we did a tour. But when I told Donnie, who's from Boston because the Wahlbergs are all from Boston.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you know, my mom's from Brockton. He was like, Jesus Christ, I will not fuck with you. Like, yeah, it's a little bit of a rough town.
That's how people react when they hear him from Lynn. And they're like, "Oh, the city of sin."
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it sure is.
Because that's the name. That's the name, right?
Yeah, it has that horrible rhyme. Just warning you about how bad it is. And the funniest part is people think that rhyme is like a new thing that they came up with. It's been around since the 1600s.
Whoa,
our town has been trashed for hundreds of years.
We've been trashed forever.
Long time.
I love Boston though.
Yeah, I do too. I miss it.
Yeah, it's a fun city. It's really cool. I haven't been back in like since pre-COVID, but my favorite thing in Boston, I love having people from Massachusetts or the East Coast on Friendlies.
God.
I fucking
of course
love Friendlies.
Of course, Denny's can go.
Denny's can die. Okay,
well, and it sucks because there's so few Friendlies left.
I know,
and it makes me so sad. And there used to be one right down the street from my parents' house, and that one finally closed. But like going in there for a watermelon roll or a fribble.
A fribble?
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Give me okay, because we always went there after, like I was a theater kid. We always went there after like performances.
So fun.
Just so like locusts just descending upon Friendlies. I felt so, and you know, there's only ever 2 at most waitresses working.
Oh no, there's not enough ever.
And now all of a sudden there's 50 theater kids.
I love
in
it.
here. Just like I need a vat of honey mustard.
Yes.
Which is a very Boston thing I found out.
Oh,
Dipping
yeah.
your fries in honey mustard is like everyone's all about ranch. I'm like, no. Ranch can take a seat.
Yeah, ranch
honey mustard is where it's at.
I love honey mustard.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm into it. Yeah. I love Friendlies so much. Like when we used to go visit my grandma, we'd get off the plane. I'd be like, we need to go to Friendlies. Like grandma can wait. You know, she can hang on a couple.
Got a nebulizer.
Yeah,
she's fine.
exactly. She's fine. I need a Jim Dandy. Okay.
Oh my God. I miss it. My mom would always be like, "Can you pick me up a fribble on the way home?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll grab you one."
Cute. I know. I love that they have their. I mean, a fribble. Like fucking. Who wants to say milkshake when you can say fribble?
You know what else I miss that's also dying? There's like 1 or 2 locations left is Papagino's.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Of course.
I knew. Yeah. Oh, that was my grandfather's like favorite. Whenever we'd get in town, he'd like have Papagino's for us. So good.
Whenever we went on school trips, you know, they'd pull off. Like there'd be like a bunch of buses. Yeah. They'd pull off into some rest area. And it always had a Papagino's.
Oh, I love it.
You were just like so stoked.
So good. So good. What's up, guys? I'm popping on here to give another shout out to our partner, Factor. Factor is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service and can help you eat well for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You guys, I have been loving my Factor meals. They have options for me as a vegan. They have all kinds of options for all kinds of different dietary restrictions. But for me personally, I was super into the curried tofu. It was so delicious. They also sent some juices. There was a pineapple turmeric juice that was so good, you guys. I drank it between podcasts. It just kept my energy going. Got me some vitamin C. You know, it is the cold and flu season, isn't it? I don't know. But I'm also really excited to try the mushroom marsala. I still have that in my fridge. And that's another thing. These meals are always fresh, never frozen, you guys. So you're just getting really good, clean ingredients that taste delicious. You're getting, you know, good nutrition. Again, it's dietitian approved, and I just love it. It's convenient. You don't have to go to the grocery store. You don't have to chop vegetables. I mean, I don't do much of this anyway. You don't have to meal prep or anything like that, and you don't have to cook. You can just throw it in the microwave. It takes about 2 minutes to make, and you are ready to go with a delicious and nutritious meal. And right now, you can head to factormeals.com/glitter50 and use code glitter50 to get 50% off. Once again, that is code glitter50 at factormeals.com/glitter50 to get 50% off. That's a great deal. Let's save some money and some time this holiday season with Factor. Yeah. Now, when did you leave Boston?
I moved out here in 2008.
Okay.
So I've been in LA for a little over 15 years now, which is insane.
So, I mean, I've been here for like 18. I'm like,
wow,
what happened?
I know. Isn't it so insane?
It's crazy.
And like just watching so many things leave LA is making me so sad. On my way here, I found out that Tropical is closed as of today in Silver Lake.
What?
And the Federal is closing too in North Hollywood.
No.
So like all these places, like
Federal?
2 places on the way here just leaving. And I was like, what is happening?
Now we have to do a GoFundMe for JC and the Federal.
Oh man, you know what? He can do his final farewell show there. They have a stage. It's great.
They do. I've done some shows there before. I had a birthday, my 26th birthday I had there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was a tour guide and I used to live in Studio City. So it was like very close to the Federal.
Yeah.
And like all the tour guides, especially when it first opened, like, 2000, whenever.
It was a huge deal when that place
Oh,
opened.
it was like so cool and like kind of chic. It was like a cool,
Yeah.
It was cool. It wasn't
really
like,
glammed up the valley a little bit.
It did.
You know?
It really
that
did.
area had like nothing when it opened.
It did. It absolutely had nothing. I remember, and I used to go to Taibo over there. Like,
we're all like, I'm sorry, the tiniest human being did Taibo.
I did. Oh my God. I was a Taibo instructor in college.
Stop it.
I was so hard. They actually called me the Taibo Nazi because I was like a drill sergeant.
The tiniest people always are the scariest.
Me and Posh
They're
Spice.
making, Posh Spice. Oh my God, that's so funny.
But yeah, I used to do Taibo. First I did it in Sherman Oaks with Billy Blanks at his studio.
Oh my God, I forgot about Billy Blanks.
Yes. So
I remember those videos.
Right. So I grew up with like my mom would do the videos.
Yeah.
And then when we came out here, because my mom, when I first came out, it was like I was 20 and my dad he was a producer. So he was doing work out here. So they would come back and forth a lot. But my mom and I would go to the studio because we like had spent so much time in the basement doing the videos. So we were like, we gotta go. And he would get right up in your ear and he'd be like, where are you at? And you'd be like dying, like giving it your all. He'd be like, I need you here. You need to give me more. And he'd be like fucking almost like breathing on you, like just like an inch from your face, just like get in the game. And we were just like, we're not athletes. We just want to work out.
Oh my God. I'm used to doing this in a basement.
I know. We usually can do it at our own pace. Like,
that's so wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing those as a kid. Like we would do those. We would do Richard Simmons too.
Oh,
remember
Richard
those?
Simmons.
We had so much fun with those.
I know. Those were the best.
Yeah.
I know. Did you listen to his podcast, that podcast about where, because you know how he like disappeared?
Yeah, it was like, was it Finding
Richard Simmons?
Okay.
And it was like 6 episodes just to be like, yeah, he just says he's fine. He's just at home. Yeah. Like that was, I'll just save you guys.
Vibing.
Yeah, he's just vibing. He just doesn't, he got sick of being famous.
I don't blame him.
I mean, to give your all. And he was like, high energy. I mean, you know, as a performer, even just us like around town, you know, in LA, you only really do like between 10, 15 minute sets usually. And even that, you're like, you know,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. You have to be on. You have to be, So for him to be like bouncing around in spandex all day,
he was literally glitter incarnate.
Oh,
like,
he was.
I can't even imagine just being that on all the time.
I can't. So I'm sure he just like reached his breaking point.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was like conspiracy theories like, oh, did the housekeeper murder him?
Oh my God.
And it's like, no.
It's like with that Avril Lavigne rumor where it's like, she's really dead. She's been dead for years. And it's like, what is wrong with you?
I love a celebrity conspiracy theory. That's just
fun.
like off the wall. Mm-hmm. But I asked you before we sat down, what a weird question to just, I was like, are you, you guys, before we started recording, I was like, are you into cult documentaries?
She's like, do you like cults?
Yeah, are you into cults?
I mean, I'm a white woman. I feel like we all know the answer.
I mean, that's why I was like, this feels like a safe question to ask, you know, because I watched a crazy cult documentary over the Thanksgiving holiday called Escaping Twin Flames.
Okay, so when did it just come out?
It just came out on Netflix probably a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Aaron, have you seen it or heard of it? Okay.
Okay, like, and I never will.
He's like, no, because I have taste. I saw it. I was, a couple people had, I think it like came as a recommendation, which I was like, this makes sense. But it's basically about, well, do you know what a twin flame is? I'm sure you.
Like, I know the saying twin flames.
Right. Like, it's like a deeper connection than
soulmate.
a soulmate.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, it's like basically your soul, like you share a soul, basically. Like, it's like some deep shit.
Oh, so now this is getting even creepier.
Yeah. So basically this couple started this, like, these online classes about how to find your twin flame. Right. Yeah. And this guy, the leader guy, has had a few bouts with like proclaiming to be a guru in different areas, right? So this was like a third or fourth attempt at starting a cult, I think. But this was the successful one, and they get all these, like, it's the majority. It is a lot of women.
Of course it is. We just want to not be alone.
I know, exactly. I know. I was like, oh my God. But it's so fascinating. It's only 3 episodes. I highly recommend it. It's so crazy. It takes so many crazy turns. But yeah, they're basically like, their whole thing is, the couple would appoint people. They'd be like, this is your twin flame. Like, say I would come in and be like,
no.
Yeah. Initially, I'd come in and I'd be like, oh, I met this guy and I felt this connection. And they'd be like, that's your twin flame. Oh, but he has a girlfriend. It doesn't matter. Act like that's not real. Oh, he took a restraining order out on me. That doesn't matter. Like, it's like, they're like, you have to create the reality and live it's kind of almost like manifesting, but also with like crazy stalker.
I know so many women that would have signed up for this. And even knowing everything you just said, they'd be like, that's for me.
That's
absolutely
for me.
Here's my money. Put it on whatever you need to charge.
It is exactly. Well, and then they're paying for all these classes. And what's the craziest thing about this is you think about, like, you know, NXIVM, Scientology, like they get caught up in their living there. This was like mostly all on Zoom. So that's what makes
That's the saddest of the cults.
Insane.
Are you kidding me?
Right? Like they had like, I think maybe a couple meetups, and then otherwise like it was all on Zoom. And and it all did happen during the pandemic though, which is interesting.
I can't like...
Can you imagine?
You'll never escape.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, your Wi-Fi is bad?
Oh.
Okay, well, I guess we'll just see you at the next one.
Exactly.
Like,
I know,
what is that?
I know. But it's crazy to me that like to get that brainwashed, like holy shit. And I'm watching it and I'm like, and crazier stuff happens, you guys. Like this is like I'm scratching the surface of like what it goes into, because then they get to the point where they are like, oh, your twin flame is only someone who's also in the organization. So then they're like basically just matching people. It's crazy, but it gets even crazier somehow. And I was thinking, I'm like, how do these people get sucked in? And then I remembered I got swindled at a mall kiosk in Vegas not long ago. So I was like, oh, I would for sure be sucked in to a cult, like 1,000,000%.
Well, I think too, like what do people want more than anything is like to be accepted and to be loved. Like they want a sense of community. You know, they want to find their people. And the fact, I mean, it makes total sense that this happened over COVID, because when were we the most alone and isolated and vulnerable? And like, of course, somebody capitalized on that.
Yes.
Like I have a friend who used to go to a psychic all the time. Yeah. Like when like the first few years that I lived out here, and they went a lot, and a lot of money was spent, and like just because they were desperate, because they were coming out of a, you know, emotionally abusive relationship, that the other person was cheating on them. And they're just, you know, when you're that in love with somebody, you get blinded and you're just looking for a reason to like make it make sense. Right. And so that makes total sense that those women were just like, yeah, okay, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah. And also to just kind of like have someone telling you like, oh, if you do this, then you'll get, because and dating is hard. You know, don't get me wrong.
Especially in LA.
Oh my God, in LA. I'm surprised that everyone wasn't like all the female comics in LA. You know, like it was crazy watching. But yeah, it's hard. And so I think if you like look at someone and they're like, oh, if you do this, you can have, because they're sitting here, this couple, and they're like, you can have what we have. We're so happy. And like, again, it takes crazy turns, and it's wild.
Oh, I might have to watch it now.
Yeah, it's good. And they have someone like, someone who used to work for them and turned and left the cult, had all the videos and like gave it to so it's like you see the video and it's funny.
Oh, so it's like actually real footage.
See Zoom calls and stuff. Yeah. It's like a ton, like you're seeing this guy saying these crazy things. And it's funny because at the beginning, or maybe it's at the end of every episode, it has the disclaimer of like, they deny all wrongdoing and they don't have a call. And it's like, buddy, we see the fucking.
It's literally here.
We literally.
literally roll the tapes.
We see you. But yeah, I was thinking like, it's just crazy though. And then to like be someone who wants to start a cult, like, can you imagine? I mean,
yeah.
You're an actor. Do you feel like acting classes feel a little culty?
Oh, of course. And
right?
some of them are.
Yeah.
Like, some of the ones when they're like all up in your face right when you sign up, that it's like you have to meet up with your partner in your class like every single day and blah, blah, blah. And
I know who you're talking about.
and I understand like wanting to, you know, dive in and really do the work and all that stuff. But it's also like, okay, well, we're also people with full lives and like we have other obligations like, you know, a job and things like that.
Yeah.
Where you're like, wow.
And also it's like, I think there's such a thing as over rehearse. Like you can
1,000%.
Because there's one, I think we're talking about the same place that was like, you have to rehearse for 3 hours a day, every day in between classes. And it's like, that's just insane.
Yeah.
Like for like a 3-page scene.
Yeah.
That sounds crazy.
It's one thing if you're going for like a seminar, you're going for, you know what I mean? Like it's a thing where you go away and it's like a week long and it's an intensive.
Of
and
course.
like that makes sense.
Of course.
But if that's just like how you're expected to do it all the time, like that's not sustainable.
And it's not how you would do it. Like that's not how a set would be. You know what I mean? Like a set, sometimes you got to change like there and you have to make it work. 100%,
you know? Yeah.
You can't be like, excuse me, I need a full week to rehearse 3 hours a day with my scene partner.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I've always thought that acting classes felt like a cult, which is why I've kind of, and the last one I was at, I felt like they were not super culty, but I do feel like there is just an energy with actors and especially new actors.
Yeah, we're a nightmare.
Yeah, we're just like, can you give us the key? You know, you're like, do you have the answers? That's why I was surprised more people in the documentary weren't actors, because I do think we're like a very vulnerable.
Yeah, we're a bunch of golden retrievers running around without a collar.
Yeah,
like, that's literally what it is.
We're like,
someone claim us,
like us,
like
yeah, exactly. I know, it's so crazy. It's funny because I've always said the like acting classes are like a cult, but I knew you would fucking get it. Yeah.
I wonder if you took class at the place like your most recent one, if it's where I went, because I really liked. The place that I went was the person that ran it was kind of an offshoot of the bad one.
Yes.
So I wonder if it's the same.
Sounds like it's the same.
I bet it is.
Okay.
Hilarious.
I love it. Yeah.
Oh my God, are we twin flames?
Are we twin flames? Oh my God, I think we are.
Oh my God. Roll the tapes. So we're starting our own cult.
We are starting our cult, you guys. It's the cult of JC Chazé.
It's to find JC's twin flame.
It's exactly. We're trying to find his twin flame and a second album for him.
So funny.
I know. Now, did you read Britney's book?
I haven't. I'm dying to. I feel like so much of it got spoiled online though that I'm like, do I even need to read it now?
It did, but I felt the same way.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's worth it. There are still some like bombshells in there that I was like, oh my God. Like I won't spoil anything more because I want you to read it. Or
I need to read it, but I feel like I'm gonna cry if I read it. Did you cry when you read it?
Oh my God, yes. I was at the nail salon.
The only place to read Britney Spears' memoir.
So I did the audiobook.
Okay.
So it's Michelle Williams, who's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And I don't know what she does, but I like forget it's not Britney reading it. Like she does some kind of thing with her voice.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. She really, I think, captures the essence of Britney. And I was finishing it up at the nail salon. I'm stoned getting my nails done. And there's this part where she's just thanking her fans for like, when the real like Free Britney stuff was going on, she was like locked up in a rehab basically, and her fans got her out, and she was like, "Thank you for standing up for me when I couldn't stand up for myself." Oh my God, I could like cry right now.
Chills, like,
I know.
about it.
So it's worth reading, I think, just because I'm like, fuck, like she was. Didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, she thought they were gonna kill her.
I feel so bad for her. Like, and I hate saying that because anybody that's been that is a survivor from something like that doesn't want a bunch of pity.
Yeah.
But it's hard not to feel that way because especially as a woman and you're like, that could happen to any of us.
Of course.
Like it could literally happen to anybody. And that is so terrifying. And especially knowing that it's your family that turns on you.
Yes.
It's so heartbreaking.
I know. And this is actually going to tie into one story that I pulled that I thought was interesting today. But like Lynn, her mom, was basically like, after she shaved her head and everything, Lynn was like, doing a book tour, like had written a book.
Awful.
It's so gross.
It's so
like
gross.
Your daughter's at her lowest point and you're profiting off of it. And like, yeah, Brittany mentions like her pantsuit and bob that she had. And it's just like, and you're like prancing around and you should be with your daughter like nonstop trying to help her.
Like she was going through postpartum.
Yeah.
And also it's like, everyone now is like, well, what's wrong with her? She sounds weird. She does it. It's like, they pumped her full of so much fucking lithium. And like, God knows what other kind of horse tranquilizer sedatives that like, she's not going to be the same person she was going in. And that's not her fault.
Exactly.
Like, and I love that saying. There's a saying that's like, what happened to you isn't your fault, but it's your responsibility.
Oh.
And I think it's very, very, it makes it where it's like, what happened to her isn't her fault, but now like it's her responsibility to, tell her story, to make sure she gets the help she needs in whatever capacity that is.
Right.
And I do hope that, someday down the line that she does have the media attention off of her a little bit so she can just be a person.
Yeah.
I
totally agree. And, people shit on her. What's funny is it was really, I think it's worth a listen, even if you've heard all the like biggest bombshells, because there are some smaller things. Like I, for years was like, what happened to her? She used to tear it up, like dancing, like whipping her hair around. And I saw her in Vegas and it was like, she just pranced around. It was bad. It was not good. And I was like, she barely moves her head. I was like, did she get a concussion? Like I would go down like conspiracy theories about why she couldn't move the way she did. And she said it was a conscious choice because they were forcing her to perform these shows when she really didn't want to. And they were dictating what she fucking ate every day and put in her body. And like, so she was like, I'm not going to give them my hair flip,
What's funny? This just popped in my head. I don't think it's a coincidence that she did an album called Circus because she literally, that was what it was. Yeah. She was, a being that was forced to perform that didn't want to, that everyone's just paying to watch anyway. And it's like
so true. That gave me chills. It's crazy because I think about the song titles too, like from even her older songs, Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman, Overprotected. It's like, fuck.
The clues were there, baby.
They were there. So it's really crazy. But it brings me to my last little story that I wanted to chat with you about, which was that I saw that Lynn today, it was was like Lynn shops at the dollar store.
Meanwhile, how the mighty have fallen.
I know. And I was just like, wow. I mean, they're like, she still got into her Mercedes and had a designer purse. But,
you know what I want? I want Lynn to work at a dollar store.
Exactly.
That's what I want.
I think she's been substitute teaching. But I'm
great.
Yeah, exactly.
The future.
Perfect. I know, right? Can you imagine if Lynn was your teacher? I mean, I guess they probably don't care much. It'd be
of course not. Nobody cares about teachers. Yeah, exactly. Just like, is it somebody with a pulse that can stand up in front of the crowd? Great. Sure. Will we pay them $3 an hour? Yeah, we will.
Sounds good. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Like, wow, karma, bitch. Yeah. The Dollar General.
Wow.
I know.
Did you see there's an episode of Last Week Tonight that just came out this past week or two where they do like a deep dive about dollar stores and how predatory they are and how awful they are because it's like, first of all, it's really not that big of a discount because a lot of the things that you're getting are smaller sizes.
Right.
And that when you actually do it like by the ounce or whatever, that it's actually more expensive to shop there than it is if you buy in bulk at like bigger places. And just how they're all understaffed. There's like one person working in an entire store. So that's why it always looks like a bomb went off when you're in there because there's one person running the entire thing. They've got milk sitting out. There's customers that like basically go and help stock because there's no other option. Like it's really crazy.
That's so interesting. And my boyfriend's always like, you have to look at the price per ounce. Like he's always telling me that. I mean, there's no, I mean, I've been to a dollar store or two in my time, but there's no.
I love that you said that. You're like, sometimes I've slummed it. You know, sometimes you just need some like grass for an Easter basket, and then you just find yourself there.
Well, it's because what I was about to say sounded like even more bougie, but I haven't been to one in quite some time because I did realize like the deals are not that it's not that great of a deal,
and everything is so like. First of all, who's buying condoms at the Dollar Tree?
Yeah,
are you spent? That's the thing you spend the money on.
Yeah,
you know?
or you might pay later.
You're gonna you'll pay. You'll pay.
Yeah. But yeah, I used to, you know, when I was like first living on my own, I went to the dollar store a lot, and it really is not that much cheaper.
No,
you know?
It's not.
Yeah.
And like it's like, and I feel like too, and then you end up buying stuff you don't even want or need.
Exactly, because you're like, it's just $1.
Yeah, I will say this though: when I first moved out here, I was broke as a joke. Like I left my house with $750 in my bank account. By the time I got out here, it was gone from like gas and staying places.
Of course. Yeah.
But so when I was here, like that first couple of years, like we would shop at the the 99-cent store for produce because like I had never seen that back where I lived, but out here, a lot of those have produce and like, you know, vegetables, whatever. And so we would buy all of our food there because we had to.
I bought produce there too. And I will say, they had decent produce. I have to say, I think the spinach there was better than a lot of Trader Joe's produce I've gotten. Do you find that?
Yeah, it was probably like 3D printed.
Exactly.
Like it probably wasn't even real.
It's just paper. Delicious. Yum. But do you find that Trader Joe's produce, I feel like I get home and it's bad already.
Oh, Trader Joe's. First of all, I won't buy meat at Trader Joe's. Like I won't no.
Yeah.
Trader Joe's I like for snacks.
Same.
They come in clutch with the snacks with the like seasonal stuff.
Totally.
I like their coffee a lot. I think their coffee's really affordable.
Coffee's good. And I love the stuff. I mean, it's so affordable, but I will literally, I end up wasting so much produce because I'll buy it and the next day, even though the date's good, it's like wilted.
They also keep getting a lot of recalls, and that makes me a little nervous.
Yeah.
Like, every time I turn around, they're like, "Well, we messed up again."
Yeah, they're like, "Sorry, but here's some sunflower butter patties on your way out."
Yeah, don't eat this because you'll die.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay.
I know, it's so funny, but their snacks are fucking unparalleled.
They're so good.
Yeah, they're really good.
In fact, it was really funny because a while back I had a bunch of female comics come over, and we all decided that we were going to bring snacks. And we all went to Trader Joe's the same day, unbeknownst to the other. And we all picked out snacks. But the funniest part was that there were 0 duplicates. We all came with all different snacks from Trader Joe's. And that just proves the vast variety of snack choices at Trader Joe's. And there's some real good ones.
There are some good ones, I will say. And I freezer stuff I have from Trader Joe's. Yep.
That rice that comes in a package that's pre-cooked, that's frozen.
It's good.
Changed my life. It's so great.
So easy. Yeah. I am not a cook at all, but Trader Joe's is turning me into a chef, I will say.
You're like, I heated up this Indian food. I made this. I technically made this.
I am going to claim this. Well, Valerie, it's been so fun having you on.
I had a blast. Thanks for having me.
Where can everyone find you and follow you? And when is the next Mermaid Comedy Hour?
So you can find me on all the things at Valerie_Tosi. And the next Mermaid Comedy Hour is Monday, January 8th at 7:30 p.m. at the Hollywood Improv Lab. It is a banger of a lineup already. It's so good.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Mel's coming to that one.
Oh my God.
She follows me on Instagram now. She's probably gonna, if I post this clip, she's gonna be like, this girl needs to stop being so obsessed with me. But
that's
I think,
incredible.
Yeah,
though.
I think she might be coming, which is pretty great.
Oh my God, amazing.
And I have an album you guys can check out too. It's called Beach Trash. It's on Blonde Medicine. Came out like last year-ish. And so come find me.
You guys, Valerie Tosi, she is so funny. Follow her, find her album, find her in an alley at a Trader Joe's, you guys.
Yes, find me in an alley. And please get me out of there.
And definitely, if you are in the LA area, go see the Mermaid Comedy Hour because it's a very fun show.
Thanks.
And we'll see you guys next time on Glitter and Garbage.
Bye.
Bye.